Good afternoon and welcome to Coastal Chaos 2018, a WFTDA-Recognized Tournament brought to you by the Rock Coast Rollers of Rockport, Maine and New England Roller Derby Report. Our next game features the greatest hits of Rockin City Roller Girls hailing from Red Rock, Texas, up against Green Mountain Roller Derby's Grade A Fancy hailing from Essex, Vermont. My name is Beautiful Banshee. I am here with a fantabulous Chad.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I got into the venue at about 9 o'clock maybe this morning. Mm-hmm. Since then, we've been setting everything up, and I think as of about 2 minutes ago, I feel confident that everything is set up the way it's going to work. Excellent. For those of you playing Stream Problem Bingo at home, my money is on an overlay breaking or something.
I'm not going to bet on a thing. I'm just going to call the Derby because that is what we do. So first up, why don't we introduce our teams?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have a warm-up lap, so we'll run right down through here. From Texas, Rockin City Roller Girls, 0260 Vava Vroom, 050 Bad Juju, 101 Corella DeVille, 1096 Chola Rolla, 211 Beth Wish, 23 Fury, 2581 Root of All Evil, 313 Miss Chagrin, 42 Red Ripper, 5011 Moxie Balboa, 5678 Bossy Nova, 62 Chili Concussion, 669 Miss Destruction, 789 Insidious, and 989 Dimples Destroya.
Okay, wearing black in this game, we have Green Mountain Roller Derby's Grade A Fancy from Essex, Vermont, 19 Beast Infection, 20 Seroquel XR, that's their captain, 207 Savage Patch Kid, 23 Fox, 29 Poison Apple, 30 Rad Rover, 32 Curb Stomp, 369 Snatch McCracken, 4 Cryptic Kablam, 44 Mullen Mule Kick, 4482 Trasher, 701 Vajikel Jackson, 76 Folsom Bruise, 887 Clitorisk, 9 Busty Breaker, and they are coached by Christina. So quite the matchup here. I've heard some great things about both teams, and should be interesting as things pop off here at Coastal Chaos 2018.
I have not seen Green Mountain in a long time, not since at least one or two games at Bangor Roller Derby quite a number of years ago. I think the team has changed quite a bit since then, so we're all in for a treat and a surprise. We'll see what we get.
And again, I'd like to thank our officials that are out there. Of course, our non-skating officials and skating refs, our NSOs for this game. We will gladly bring you the roster shortly. First up, though, as I mentioned, in white, we have Rockin City. That is Chola Rolla wearing the star versus Mullen Mule Kick of Green Mountain in black.
Yeah, Mullen Mule Kick is tied up in the back, going to go for a star pass. Pushed out and picking up a penalty is the Rockin City Jammer.
Pack keeping it slow in turn one. We're seeing a lot of the jammers being taken to the lines. Pack doing a great job on both sides. Pack slowly heading into turn two and inching into the back stretch. It appears we have Rockin City with the drawback, and Mullen Mule Kick stashes the star.
Come through the backstretch finally. Now we are almost a full minute into this jam, and we've made it a half lap.
Right, and lead not yet declared. Oh, and it appears that without lead being declared, the star has been passed to Vajikel Jackson on Green Mountain. She is able to break the pack. So we'll see if Chola Rolla is able to pull off lead at any point, but it appears that Green Mountain's defense doing one heck of a job as they are back to turn one.
4 points put up for Green Mountain. That's the first points of a very long weekend.
It is a jam-packed weekend, if you will. See what I did there?
Bad Juju with the star for Rockin City with their first points. There will be 4 picked up coming around turn 2.
Tentative pack, though. Rockin City able to take down Vajikel Jackson mid-back stretch. keeping it very slow, really doing any parts to take away what little momentum Vajekyll had. And what a way to start off. 11-7 in the first jam in favor of Green Mountain's Grade A Fancy.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Grade A's traditionally been they're a pretty tough team. Having seen them come up, and I think I've seen them play against Maine Roller Derby as well a couple of times.
Your jammers of current. We have Fury wearing white for Rockin City up against Curb Stomp of Green Mountain. Rockin City's defense able to take down Curb Stomp right between the jammer and pivot lines, keeping her slow. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, we have Fury pushing it out, securing a lead about 20 seconds in for Rockin City.
Yeah, excellent work by the Rockin City defense to slow things down long enough to force a bridge to have to be put out, and then the subsequent loss of defenders up at the front, finally she was able to get through, and she's now picked up
Red Ripper of Rockin
City
so far to the penalty box.
So we see that brings it to
first lead change.
Rockin City to 12.
Yeah. Making it a 1-point game. I have a feeling we're going to have a little bit of the back and forth nail biter between this
Well,
pairing.
you know, I hope so. I was just realizing that we don't have any sort of setup to communicate right now with anybody who is watching the stream. And I was trying to think, where's the laptop we normally do that with? But that's actually part of our internet access routing system on the other side of the building.
Well, if anybody would like to hit us up on Twitter, you could always use the hashtag Coastal Chaos 2018.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or as I've liked to use recently, hashtag Too Coastal, Too Chaotic. Holler at your girl. But we'll be back at it, and it looks like we missed an entire jam. How very brief it was.
We missed an entire jam. We've got 1 point put up on the board for Rockin City. Yeah, I might be able to do that from here. All right, you do some talking while I'll mess around with this thing. Here.
I'm just watching to see who we have out on the track before us. We have number 20, Seroquel XR, the captain of Grade A Fancy, up against Miss Destruction of Rockin City. And if you are just joining us, we have Rockin City in white with blue accents, Grade A Fancy from Green Mountain in black with white accents. Oh, no pass, no penalty assessed to Miss Destruction, though she did escape the pack first, is not lead. So it's still open at this point, 30 seconds into the jam. Pack keeping it slow in turn 2. Rockin City defense really putting in work on Seroquel. 5-point grand slam going to Miss Destruction. Seroquel able to stash the star and escape the pack. 10 points up thus far. Oh, make it 9 for Miss Destruction. So doubling the score currently, 22-11 with Rockin City on top. Texas certainly proving you don't mess with Texas early in the game. Miss Destruction coming through the pack. Juking in, juking out, being taken to the lines, caught up right around the jammer line. Has Seroquel hitting the pack after picking up 4 points on her last pass, finally making that initial. Still being outscored by 10 points so far from Rockin City. The drawback from 7-8-9, that would be Insidious, driving back Seroquel XR to the jammer line. Adding 5 on the last pass for Miss Destruction, who just hits the pack again, virtually slicing down the middle as Rockin City's offense able to provide a perfect distraction.
So Rockin City looks to have maybe got the wiggles out pretty quick. Sometimes it takes a little bit to kind of get those initial jitters under control, but they've had 2 jams now back-to-back with that. They were very much in control from the very beginning to the very end.
And
so we'll see if Green Mountain can return the favor.
Yeah, and that was a 22-8 jam for Rockin City, bringing them to 35-19. We have 22 and a half minutes remaining in the first half as it is flying by. Number 44, Mullen Mule Kick, wearing black. That is Green Mountain's jammer, up against Rockin City's Chola Rolla, picking up lead pretty quickly on that inside line.
So Chola Rolla with a slight advantage here. Her teammates are doing a great job already providing some good offense for her. Almost through on the backstretch. Just 2 blockers to deal with. And now she's through.
5 points up for Chola Rolla. Mullen Mule Kick able to evade the pack.
A forearm penalty called on Dimples Destroya on the backstretch. So she'll have a seat for a little bit.
And something fun about this particular weekend, aside from all the games we're going to witness, is at the end of the day on Sunday, there will be the Coastal Chaos Trophy awarded. So who will emerge victorious?
Yeah.
It is a giant lighthouse if you have never seen the trophy.
So I haven't, I'm wondering where the trophy is. I haven't seen it.
Usually it's hiding at the Rock Coast merch table, but perhaps it hasn't arrived yet. It's still early in the day. 43-19 after that last jam. That would be none other than Vajikel Jackson for Green Mountain.
Fury with the Rockin City Star. And we have our first whistle. Fury, a little bit of room on the outside, not able to get it. She's pushed out, it looks like, by Savage Patch Kid.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the first lead being taken by Green Mountain, courtesy of Vajikel Jackson. Yes.
Through, and we'll call it. That'll be, looks like it'll be 2 points. No, I see 3. There's a thumb there.
Okay, we're seeing things getting lined up, but a huge thank you to the Rock Coast Rollers for putting on Coastal Chaos 2018. It's always a joy to come back here every year, and especially to work with the New England Roller Derby Report.
Yeah, we're awesome.
Yeah, you are. And it's always a good time. See, I am incredibly spoiled. I was able to work with Nerd Derby at Battle of the All-Stars this year.
Oh, such a good time.
So twice in 1 year. It's fantastic. But you know what else is fantastic? Michigan taking lead for Rockin City Rollers up against Curb Stomp. And if you are just joining us, we have just under 20 minutes remaining in the first half. And Rockin City wearing white, Green Mountain in black.
So there's 5 points that have already been gained. Coming around the backstretch, almost able to stay in, but not quite. Still plenty of time, though, to get back in the pack. She's got a half a track length to work with before Curb Stomp is of a concern. So she'll pick up 5 more and call it.
And I don't know, it's probably too late to catch a replay, but number 207, Savage Patch Kid on Green Mountain, their pivot, he was doing some fun blocking up on her tiptoes and spinning practically to take out the opposing jammer.
Yeah.
It was a fun little moment. I enjoyed it. So hopefully all of you at home caught it too.
Give us a shout next time, Banshee. If you see
will.
something you want,
I'm
say,
sorry.
grab that, and
I
we'll
was
grab
taken
it.
back by it.
We got Miss Destruction with a star for Rockin City. And she'll be our jammer.
And Rockin City starting with the pack advantage as one Green Mountain blocker in the box.
Lead jammer, what's she going to do?
I think she will score many points.
Well, she's
perhaps.
already got 4. And we'll call it at that.
snatch, but Kraken didn't pick any up on that last pass, but 4 points up brings Rockin City to 57 over 22 for Green Mountain. Just 18 minutes remain. We do have a timeout, I believe an official one. Oh, a team timeout. And that is called by Grade A Fancy for Green Mountain.
So this weekend, the stream here on Nerd Derby, I've done a couple of pay-per-view streams, and maybe actually I've done one, and I hated doing it, maybe two. I didn't like doing it because I always feel just super self-conscious about somebody actually having to pay for broadcasts that we do. However, if folks want to donate towards the cost of internet access this weekend, they can do that. If you find our page on Facebook, you'll see a link to a GoFundMe. If you want to, cool. If you don't, no worries. We're going to stream with or without you.
That's right.
Stream.
Nerd Derby brings it to you for the low, low cost of free $99.
Free $99. That is, and we're going to try to always keep it that way too.
Well, we appreciate it. The community at large, I know, appreciates the quality broadcast brought to us by the New England Roller Derby
Report. And it's so tricky to, Derby costs so much for everybody involved anyway. It's cheaper than a drug habit, but not by much.
Well, roller derby, one hell of a drug. And it's okay because it's good for us. All right. And back to gameplay. But Jekyll Jackson out there wearing the star for Green Mountain. Her opposition, that would be Cholarola.
Yeah, it looks like Chola out there again.
And I know the great thing, we were talking about this excellent free broadcast, though we have a multiplayer block call that is being assessed to a member of the Green Mountain blocking staff. So bringing it down, but lead going to Cholarola of Rockin City.
So we have had I've been kind of surprised by the speed at which we've had the laps today. It's been kind of a little slower than I expected. Do you think that is defensively a strategy by Rockin City, who's sort of in control here to keep the momentum down?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a former blocker, seasoned former blocker, I can definitely attest to how helpful it is when you can take the momentum away before it's even allowed. So you'll see they're taking the line right here. So Rockin City doing their best. They want to be able to shut down Mule Kick before she gets any sort of momentum possible, and then just put the brakes on and essentially mentally break her too. And
it's been very effective. Yeah. It is 23 Fury for the Rockin City Roller Girls. She's our lead jammer. As you mentioned, Mule Kick out there with the star for Green Mountain. Mule Kick tied up a bit. Rockin City has played very consistently in this first quarter of play. We had the one lead change after Jam 2.
And Rockin City has been successful for a number of jams keeping Grade A Fancy scoreless because they haven't moved on from 22 in quite a bit. Currently 10 points up for Fury, bringing Rockin City to 70. Or I should say the greatest hits. I think that is probably one of the most clever all-star team names I have ever heard. So kudos to you, Rockin City, and your greatest hits.
I will say the only thing I think that's very comparable to that would be Rock City's B team, which is the B-sides. Yeah.
Well, as a music person, I thoroughly appreciate these references. But back to the track. It looks like we had a bit of a pileup between turns 3 and 4. Oh, quick beam dip coming from Fury, but not till she got that last point. Oh, we got some excitement here in the house.
I see, I couldn't help but notice Pete Smoke here, the OPR. He's got a pretty magnificent kilt on.
Yes.
It makes me think maybe I should wear my kilt tomorrow or Sunday. I'll have to check the weather because it's... I don't want it to be too cold.
Yeah, it's true. But I think it's supposed to be a pretty nice weekend, so you might get lucky. There was a 15-1 jam there that we missed. 75-23, under 14 and a half minutes to go. Michigan wearing white for the greatest hits up against Savage Patch Kid. I do believe Savage Patch Kid's jammer debut in this game because we've seen her blocking.
Blocking quite a bit, yeah.
Yes. Lead secured by Michigan.
I like that Green Mountain is taking a chance to change up their jammer rotation now rather than waiting too long. You know, a 30-minute half is, if you try to come out of that second half making a change, and you've already been losing momentum and losing ground for 30 minutes. I see teams do that, and I get that they want to stick with their initial jammer rotation, but sometimes you've just got to make that decision
It's too little, too late sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that being said, this change in jammer rotation, Savage Patch Kid does break the pack, not putting any points up. And Michigan only able to put up 7 in total. So current score for the greatest hits, 82 to Grade A Fancy 23 as we head into Jam 12.
And even that might be a momentum boost that they might need to try to claw back into this. Mm-hmm. That is the first time, as you mentioned, that's the first time they've broken through the pack in I don't know how many jams at this point.
That's very true. That is Captain Seroquel XR.
Taking Destruction.
Yes. Those are your current jammers. This time, Grade A Fancy trying to shut it down right on the jammer line.
Yeah. And this Destruction pushing against the wall, not making any room.
Seroquel,
who has the lead jammer designation for the Grade A Fancy. Grade A Fancy is a fantastic name, too, if you like maple syrup.
Yes. Quite appropriate for Green Mountain. Pack attempting to keep it slow. Forcing Seroquel out in turn 3. And the call off. Let's see how many points go up. That's a total of 4 for Grade A Fancy, taking them to 27 and holding the greatest hits scoreless for the first time in many jams. They're currently at 82.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to let everyone know that Coastal Chaos 2018 has the honor of being a WFTDA-Recognized tournament. And the WFTDA-Recognized Tournament program recognizes and supports high-quality WFTDA member-hosted tournaments worldwide. So it is a pleasure. Back to our game in progress. Chola Rolla for the greatest hits up against Curb Stomp of Grade A Fancy.
Yeah, it is super exciting to have a WFTDA tournament that's 15 minutes from the house. It's been so nice.
One can dream. Hey, within a few hours, I'm happy.
Right. So Rockin City with the lead jammer in Chola Rolla. She picks up a track cut, though. So opportunity swings in favor of the Green Mountain Roller Derby Grade A Fancy. And we have it swung quickly back. The pendulum nearly broke in half as it swung back the other way. And
the jammer switcheroo.
The jammer switcheroo will be entertained with one more minute in this jam.
Pat keeping it pretty cozy and slow in turn 2, edging into the back stretch. And we're seeing Green Mountain going for it offensively, but it doesn't seem like they're able to break up the tripod courtesy of Rockin City. Chola Rolla.
Nice job by Rad Rover to hold up. Almost made connection there, but recognized she was a little bit too far out. Should be much more valuable on the track than having to take that penalty.
Most definitely. And Chola Rolla pushing the pack out right into turn 3. She is facing off against a terrible twosome. A braced 2-wall.
Braced 2.
From Grade A Fancy, managing to keep it slow. And at the helm, that is Curb Stomp.
Grade A Fancy looked really good in the last 25 seconds of that jam to hold back, and they looked very much in control, and they had some composure there coming out of turn 3, or into turn 3 rather.
And they held Chola Rolla to the 13 points, where we've seen her put up bigger numbers already several times. So 95-27 in favor of Rockin City's greatest hits. We are now at just under the 9.5-minute mark for the half. Fury for the greatest hits, up against Vajikel Jackson.
And Jackson twice now almost has made it through, but not quite. Being pinballed to the inside and then to the out across the front. Lead jammer goes to Rockin City Roller again. Number 23, Fury, with plenty of time.
Oh, and we saw the star stash by Vajikel Jackson. Able to break the pack, no points though. And let's see what happened with Fury. There could have been a few points at Jam's end. Oh yes, 4. Taking Rockin City to the edge of the century mark, 99-27. Heading into Jam 15. And that is 313 Miss Chagrin, ready to take on her opposition. I do believe that's Mule Kick.
313.
Yeah, small and Mule Kick.
313, Michigan. Oh, you said Michigan. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, you were.
It's alliterative. Michigan and Mule Kick. All the M's.
That's tricky.
Okay, back out on the track. Derby is good. Okay. And Maul and Mule Kick, all the M's. With Michigan hot on her heels. Lead for Grade A Fancy currently, but the Jammer foot race, Michigan steps right out in front. The jam is called before any points go up.
Not surprising. I think still plenty of time to, you want to play it safe. I was glad to see Green Mountain getting out and having that breakout quickly.
They needed it.
They needed that. That's, and even looking forward to the rest of this tournament, you want to make sure you can leave the track saying, all right, this is what we did right. These are our pluses. These are the wins that we had on the track this week.
And especially a great way to start it off. Busty Breaker taking the star for Green Mountain versus Miss Destruction. And Miss Destruction flying out of the pack.
Really muscled her way through.
Very quick lead. Oh, she is dropped to the inside line with the drawback from Green Mountain all the way into turn 1. Following the bench's command to call it off. No additional points going up for Green Mountain, but we had 4 taking Rockin City to 103. And we'd like to thank everyone who is watching the stream right now as we get things started. We know that this is the first game, and many of you might be watching from work, so we hope this is bringing you some joy on your Friday afternoon. And I know even we have some international viewership right now.
International.
So I want to say hello. I do believe that Bulldozer is watching over in Barcelona.
Wow.
So, yeah, thanks for the feedback on the feed.
Thanks. Appreciate it. $10.96, Cholarola, lead jammer for Rockin City. It was a slow roll around on that initial lap. Casually picks up 5 points. For those of you who are watching from work, I recommend Alt-Tab as a quick way to change your screen if you need to. If you should be working and you're not because you're watching Derby, Alt-Tab will bring up another
to camouflage your no Derby viewing screen.
To camouflage what you're doing, so that's Alt-Tab.
Alt-Tab, friends. Very handy-dandy trick there. Thanks, Chad.
No problem.
We have the pack stretching from the jammer line all the way into turn 1. Fox being kept in the back of the pack. Cholarola working on things, but it still lead to her credit after 10 points being put up.
Fox has the star as a result of a star pass.
Fox getting taken to the outfield and driven back.
Looking a little bit tired. Like this is defensively, Rockin City has looked phenomenal this
Fox
game.
Pushing it out, but again, Rockin City, that drawback.
Other teams, I'm sure, will be taking note. They are, a good portion of them are here in the stands. I'm sure they're here to enjoy Derby as well, but my money is on scoping out the upcoming opposition.
Well, you got to keep an eye out. And we see a couple of teams in the stands watching.
Yeah, and it's great at a small tournament like this. You're playing against people you've never seen before. You know, you can. I think even something like Battle of the All-Stars now, if you've gone to that a couple of years in a row, you've seen a lot of those folks year after year, where this is a completely new team of all new folks that you've never had a chance to see before.
Yeah, you might have one or two here and there that might have been in the mix.
Right.
That's it. Seroquel XR able to pick up lead for Green Mountain. Her opposition, well, we had a star pass.
We did.
Off to 42. That would be Red Ripper.
Red Ripper.
Yeah.
4 points put up and called off. Seroquel putting up the first points in at least 10 minutes for Green Mountain.
118-31 in favor of Rockin City. Just under 3 minutes left in the half.
So we have an official timeout.
Oh, yes.
We can read the...
Yeah, well, I want to thank a few of our sponsors while we wait.
Sponsors.
Red Zone Wireless, www.redzonewireless.com. They're one of our proud sponsors, providing fast and affordable local Maine internet. Visit redzonewireless.com and check out Red Zone's monthly deals on high-speed internet for your home or business. And let's see. I'm not sure if anyone is really familiar. If you've been watching the WFTDA tournaments within the last 6 to 8 months, you may be familiar with We Believe and UN Women through our international giving program to support global change. We Believe, the WFTDA, is raising $15,000 for the United Nations Women's One Win Leads to Another program. And that uses sport to develop leadership and economic skills in young women and girls. Find out more about We Believe and the WFTDA's partnership with UN Women at WFTDA.com/donate.
So Rockin City picked up a penalty at the end of that last jam. So they're going to start with the jammer in the box. Oh. That is Red Ripper.
Well, I don't think Vajikel Jackson has any problem with that.
Not in the least bit.
Power start. Don't mind if she does. Little dance move.
Here's our whistle. We're going to have some more derby now.
Yay, more derby. Lots more derby this weekend here at Coastal Chaos. A full complement of blockers to start the jam. So Vajikel Jackson will have all 4 greatest hits blockers to contend with, but not for long.
Did not take long at all. That was 2.5 seconds
Super
tops.
fast work. Lead to her credit.
The blockers will let her through and then see what they can do to assist her. Standing in the box now and out any second is Red Ripper. That was a full penalty, I would say, that she was in the box for. Like the duration of that penalty seemed to be the full 30 seconds. Ripper is through.
Peck keeping it slow, but Vajikel Jackson still working up against the Rockin City defense. Calls it off at the end of jam. Excited to pick up points. Vajikel Jackson applauding.
Yeah, 5 points.
That brings Grade A Fancy to 36. to the greatest hits 118. We have just under 2 minutes left on the period clock as we head for Jam 20.
We haven't broke anything yet in our stream.
Knock on wood.
I'm almost disappointed. Like, I feel like that's sort of an expectation that usually something doesn't go right. So,
Chad,
we'll see.
Chad,
we'll
shush.
see
That's the only reason why I would ever shush you. Just don't. We're going positive energy here. And you know what's extremely positive? The presence of both jammers on the track, Michigan versus Mullen Mule Kick. But Michigan picking up lead for the greatest hits. Pack keeping it slow as it heads into turn 2. Mullen Mule Kick pushing it out.
Did you fill out a bracket?
No,
Did you
not
pick a
yet.
bracket?
I didn't.
I forgot to, and now we're one game in. I feel like I.
Well, it's okay.
Maybe we'll count that as the freebie game.
We have halftime.
Well, yeah, we have halftime. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll fill out a bracket.
That's right. At the half, we will fill out our brackets, so we have predictions. I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to share the predictions.
I will never share my predictions. I can't pick anything.
We had some predictions that were shared by the studio broadcasters at the Men's Roller Derby World Cup a few weeks ago. I know that they sat and deliberated for a few hours, and I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
It stressed me out. But that's okay. Something not stressful because we are not on the track. We're announcing.
Yeah, we're not to halftime yet. We've got one more jam for Green Mountain. We've got number 9, Busty Breaker. Is that the first time Breaker has had the star?
Busty Breaker's been out there a couple of times. But she snuck in later in the rotation. Yeah. And Cholarola, who picks up lead for Rockin City, ends up her opposition. And we have a tentative pack waiting for Cholarola. Cholarola pushing it out at the front in turn 2, adding 5 to the Rockin City tally. Busty Breaker stashing the star. Pack keeping it slow in the back stretch. And a smart call off from Cholarola.
After one half, Rockin City with a commanding 129-36 lead over the Green Mountain Roller Derby at Grade A Fancy.
And again, we'd like to thank you for watching Coastal Chaos 2018, a WFTDA-recognized tournament brought to you by the Rock Coast Rollers of Rockport, Maine, and New England Roller Derby Report. We'll be back with Period 2 in just about 14 minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. All right, we're back.
Yes, welcome back to Coastal Chaos 2018, a WFTDA-recognized tournament. We're bringing you the second half action between the Rockin City Rollers' greatest hits and Green Mountain Roller Derby's Grade A Fancy. Wow. I mean, Texas versus Vermont, and Texas, they are a force to be reckoned with. 129-36 with Rockin City in the lead as we head into our second half. Chad, thoughts?
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I mean, making the assumption that Rockin City goes on to win. It's you don't want to make a judgment call based on like one game. Like, oh wow, well it looks like Rockin City is going to be the favorite to win. I mean, let's see what happens with another team's defense, right?
Oh, exactly.
It could be a completely different story. But for right now, the story is Rockin City has just absolutely dominated on offense and defense, and they have held Green Mountain to just 36 points and consistently shut the Jammers down and controlled the pace of the game.
And just in front of us, proof of that. Rockin City able to hold Curb Stomp, driver to the outside. Oh no, Curb Stomp handed off the star, I do believe, to the pivot, Seroquel XR. So Seroquel XR was being held to the back. And of course, Cholarola took lead. And if you are just joining us, we have a Rockin City Roller Girls greatest hits wearing white with blue accents and Green Mountain's Grade A Fancy in black with green accents. 5 points up on that last pass for Cholarola and 4 for Seroquel.
Now, I don't this is a win-loss move ahead, so there's no round robin in this tournament or anything like that, so point spread doesn't really matter, except that these are WFTDA sanctioned games.
Of course, for rankings.
So for rankings, it can be very important. So I'll be interested to see if people or if teams will they conserve energy for later games, or will they just look at this and say, okay, this is one of the 3 sanctioned games we need to get in this year. Let's pile on the points, and do what we can to
perhaps
to crank it up.
I think it will be interesting to see. And just to confirm, at that last jam, it was 17 points up for Rockin City to 8 for Grade A Fancy, 146-44. And we see the light here in the venue. And just in case it was looking a little dark there for you at home. But that's okay. Getting back to it, your jammers of current, we have number 23. That would be Fury.
We have a Red Ripper in white and blue for Rockin City Roller Girls.
Vajekyll Jackson, the jammer for Green Mountain. And it is Fury taking lead for Rockin City. Pack keeping it slow in turn 2. Looks like we have someone down the floor. Oh, maintaining their skate. It looks like a little bit of a malfunction, but that's all right.
Shoe tie there with Cabbage Smash Kid. Savage Patch Kids. Yeah, I knew I would do it. I knew I would get the Cabbage names confused.
Staying pretty static mid-back stretch. Anticipatory, if you will. Oh, and we see Rockin City with their dominating defense driving back Vajekyll Jackson. Fury makes an additional pass.
It's a nice shoulder at the last minute there by Green Mountain, and that is Poison Apple, who
we've had a star pass for Green Mountain from Vajekyll Jackson to Mala Mule Kick, but still no points for Green Mountain. A total of 13 for Rockin City, taking them to 159 over Green Mountain's 44.
How many games do we have this weekend? Any idea how many games we have?
Oh, we don't have the bracket overlay?
We do have a bracket. If we have a timeout again or a stoppage in play, we'll throw the bracket up. We have the initial winning round bracket, but there's another half to the bracket that's for consolation games. And
I know we have, 4 today? 4, I believe.
4 games today, yeah.
4 today, so off to a good start, considering that is just in one afternoon. And that's Michigan in white for Rockin City. Her jammer opposition, Snatch McCracken for Green Mountain. Lead to Michigan. Pack keeping it slow, really not a ton of movement, at least not forward movement. snatch breaks the pack. Michigan getting caught up. Green Mountain's defense able to shut it down and force a call off. And I'd like to thank Havana. That is Havana, Maine. Located in beautiful Bar Harbor, Maine, near Acadia National Park, Havana has been committed to serving local and organic meats, produce, and seafood since it opened 18 years ago. www.havanamaine.com.
Down in Bahama.
Bahama.
I was
trying to hide my New England.
I wondered why you were putting R's in that word. I didn't
Bar Harbor,
Bar
not
Harbor.
Bahama. But we'll get back to that. It is Miss Destruction picking up lead for Rockin City versus Curb Stomp of Green Mountain. The pack keeping it in turn one at current. Jammers being taken to the lines. The jam gets called off after a little pile up in turn one.
I almost thought that maybe Curb Stomp was going to pick up a point there, but she did not. Only 1 point, though, picked up for Rockin City.
Maintaining a 120-point lead. We'll see what kind of gains that Green Mountain can make in the conclusion of this game. We have just over 24 minutes remaining.
If you're a Rockin City fan, you got to be pretty pleased with their initial showing.
Most definitely. And I'll be honest, I really am not familiar with Rockin City. So coming into this tournament and just witnessing this game, their style of gameplay, I might become a fan. Who knows? But, you know, I'm a fan of...
You're going to buy the T-shirt, aren't you?
Perhaps. I don't know. Might have to buy a Green Mountain one, too. I want one that says Grade A Fancy. But what's even fancier is Chola Rolla snagging lead for greatest hits, while the pack cycles back Mullen Mule Kick. Pack in turn two right now. We're seeing Chola Rolla really push it out. Meanwhile, Mullen Mule Kick pushing the greatest hits defense forward, but taken to the outside and drawn all the way back into turn two. Pack extending quarter into the back stretch. Oh, Green Mountain now with the drawback on Chola Rolla.
Thank you to everybody who's tuned in and watching from home today, from home or office or listening in out on the houseboat.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Somebody might have a houseboat. I don't know. Don't look at me like that.
Well, you know, could be a houseboat, as long as they bring their flippy floppies. But
yeah.
And if they're hanging out with T-Pain, man, I'm jelly. Yeah. I can't resist a good Lonely Island joke, but no one else can't resist. Just like Chola Rolla can't. Points. There were 4 more points. That brings Chola Rolla. Oh no, that was 5. That takes.
It was 5 points.
9 points so far. We'll see if any additional points go up. Oh, looks like one more. Make it 10 for Rockin City's greatest hits. 175-44.
Chola Rolla has consistently come out today and put up multiple pass point scoring runs, picking up 4, 8, maybe 9 points. And that's been really key. I think if I were looking at a jammer MVP, I would have to say Chola.
Mayhaps.
That's my own personal opinion.
Okay. That is Seroquel XR with the star for Grade A Fancy. That's right. Green Mountain wearing black. Rockin City's greatest hits wearing white, and Fury is her opposition. Though Seroquel lead. Yes.
Lead jammer, but again, still had a hard time coming out of the pack, and Rockin City was able to get their jammer out as well. So we have, we have the lead jam for Green Mountain, and they've picked up 2 points, but still Rockin City held them back.
In the rare occasion where they were able to hold Rockin City scoreless. Okay, number 76, Folsom Brews. We've seen her in the pack blocking, but first time with the Jammer Star, I believe, at least in the second half. That's for Grade A Fancy. Her opposition, Michigan.
Maggie says she is streaming. She's definitely streaming from her office.
What is it, Maggie?
Maggie, yeah, Maggie's.
Right. Hey, Maggie. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you're able to enjoy the game uninterrupted.
Yeah, on a Friday. That's perfect.
Friday indeed. Okay, picking up a multiplayer block penalty. That's a member of Green Mountain's blocking staff. Pack into the back stretch. Oh, we have a run back from Green Mountain.
Busty breaker with the push out and haul back. That was pretty sweet move by Breaker.
Mid-back straightaway all the way back to turn 2. Michigan thrown to the inside.
Yeah, Vajayko Jackson with the knock to the infield.
And we have Rockin City's pivot off to the penalty box. Oh, and a jammer penalty on Folsom Brew. So meaning a power jam opportunity left to Rockin City.
Silver lining for Green Mountain. There's 41 seconds left on the clock, so there's a good opportunity here to be able to burn that penalty without having to give up a power start.
I love a good penalty kill, regardless of who it's happening to. Seeing some clutch blocking coming from, that was 2581, root of all evil on Rockin City.
Michigan has really had to work.
Yes.
This is, I think we're on lap, I feel like we're on lap 1 still of this jam.
I do believe so.
We had a star pass and a penalty picked up by Michigan that happened after the star pass. So we'll actually see Green Mountain with the power start.
Well, was it an illegal star pass? We'll have to find out.
I don't think it was. If I didn't think it was an illegal star pass,
no.
Nor did the pivot who took the star and put it on.
Okay, I was just checking. The Mist Destruction with Rockin City will take on jammer favorite and captain Sarah Cole XR of Green Mountain's Grade A Fancy. Lead in favor of the greatest hits.
Yeah, Mist Destruction. We've seen Mist Destruction a couple of times today. Each time putting up a very consistent jam. She's got out, got the 4 points, called it off. Just going to take a quick look real fast. That's your bracket for the weekend.
Ooh, yes. So
a little hard to see, but
big games today. So up next, we will have a matchup of Bay State Brawlers hailing from Fitchburg, Massachusetts, facing off against our host league, the Rock Coast Rollers. Perfect Storm.
I think I'm off for that stream.
Oh, so you get to cheer.
I get to watch. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be right here. Same bad time, same bad channel, you know.
I probably won't be too far from the table here.
Yeah. Well, it'll be great, though. That's going to be a nice, fun game, both friendly teams. And lead going to Mullen Mule Kick of Grade A Fancy. Her opposition is Cholarola.
That's not often that you see Rockin City held scoreless, but Cholarola held scoreless as well.
Exactly, and 4 points being scored by Green Mountain.
Fury with the star for Rockin City Roller Girls.
Curb stomp.
Curb stomp. Curb stomp on the outside. Did she stay in? Was she in cleanly? Yeah. She was. Curb stomp is our lead jammer.
Pack keeping it slow. It appears we have had a star pass from Fury to Red Ripper on Rockin City, although Red Ripper loses the star.
She drops the star. She drops the star or the stripe?
The star. The stripe is on her head.
The stripe's on her head.
Yep, Star Hat is on for Rocket City, though a power jam in favor of Rockin City.
Yeah, curb stomp having picked up a penalty.
Oh, and Red Ripper drops a blocker on her way out of the pack. Green Mountain reforming in the front of the pack, but some great offense from Pivot 789 Insignias on Rockin City. Split pack. Let's see, very slowly moving toward the jammer line, and we have a full line of blockers working on Red Ripper, working for that penalty kill in full force. Curb stomp back on the track, puts the hat back on. Meanwhile, Red Ripper had put up 5 points. Well, actually 10.
We'll see 4 now put up for curb stomp before things are ended. We're going to have a timeout. Let's take a look at that bracket real quick.
Yes.
While we're under a team timeout. So game 2, 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we have quite a bit of time in between games.
Yes, we do. A little bit of a break.
Yeah, we'll end up with probably 45 minutes after the stream ends. Once the game is done, we'll stop the stream. We've got to be kind of conservative on the amount of bandwidth we use this weekend. We'll have 4 games tonight, though. So we'll have it's the initial round. All teams will play tonight. So we'll have Bay State Brawlers against the Rock Coast Rollers. Bay State Brawlers, the winners of this tournament 2 years ago.
That's correct.
It came down to a nail-biter of a game between Bay State and Bangor Roller Derby.
That was quite the game.
Lehigh Valley versus Mass Attack, and that'll be 6 o'clock. And then there are 8 p.m. to close it out. We've got Granite State versus
State College Area Roller Derby. SCAR, yeah. And that'll be great to see. This is the Coastal Chaos debut of State College Area Roller Derby, in addition to Rockin City.
Yep.
And Green Mountain, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I don't believe I've seen Green Mountain here before. And
because Granite State, in Lehigh, it's their debut, because Mass Attack, Granite State, Rock Coast, and Bay State have all been here.
And each team will have, you can uncheck that. There you go. Yeah, that's how you fix that. Sorry. It must have been confusing to see the halftime and no audio.
Yeah,
there was
not
audio.
Halftime right now. And yes, you are hearing us, so you've got audio. Aren't you lucky?
So all teams will play 3 games. That's one of the things I love about this tournament is that at the beginning of the season, you can come. If you're a part of this tournament, you get your 3 games in one weekend. And for a team, I don't know if there's anybody here this weekend who has not previously been ranked or not. I don't know if there's anybody who this would be their
that I'm not sure of, but we
games.
Can definitely get the intel.
That was the situation a couple of years ago with Bangor.
Yes.
They came in. They were their first official games.
And they put quite the stamp on this tournament.
They put a stamp on the tournament, and then unfortunately we didn't see them anymore much after that. What's exciting though is that Rock Coast along the way has picked up for at least this tournament. They have 3 former Bangor Roller Derby skaters that were here 2 years ago, and they are on the team today. So we have Nurse Heartless, Siren, and Hammerdown.
Oh. Okay, back at it. Your jammer pairing is Chola Rolla for Rockin City versus Saracol XR for Grade A Fancy.
So once again, we have Chola Rolla in control. Lead jammer. She works her way on the inside, gets pushed out a little bit, will recycle back, but has plenty of time to work with. Now tries the line on the outside, finds all kinds of room, picks up 5 points skates around, will think about how she wants to pick up the next points. Meanwhile, we're going to have a star, maybe a pass, maybe a stash. We have a star pass. Cleanly executed star pass, too. That looked fantastic to Snatch McCracken picking up the star. Won't get a chance to score any points with that star, but nonetheless, really well executed star pass.
And in case you were wondering, on that previous official review, I just was able to get some details. The Grade A Fancy was seeking a cut call against the jammer for Rockin City. The no call was stand due to no evidence of a cut. Also, they lose their official review.
Well, you can't take that official review with you, so you might as well use
Nope,
it.
gotta let it go.
Miss Destruction with the star for Rockin City. And I'll have to stand up to see who has it. Oh, that is
Michael
Jackson
with lead. Just getting out right before Miss Destruction.
Yeah, Miss Destruction. This is the first time Miss Destruction has been out and not picked up the lead jammer designation. 4 points picked up for Green Mountain. 3 points for Rockin City.
And currently, score is at 199, Rockin City. 58 points. Oh, no. I stand corrected. 202, Rockin City. 58 for Grade A Fancy. And just over 12 minutes remain in the game.
Green Mountain will send Mule Kick up to the line alongside. That is Michigan.
Get it? I love it.
Get it?
Again, it feels unnatural, though, to say Michigan because adding an R.
Yeah, right.
Okay, a little bit of a wipeout on the outside. That's right, Mule Kick taken to the outside right after turn 2 by the Rockin City defense. Peck keeping it within that very small radius, inching into the back stretch. And it seems the pins all came falling down, but right back up they are.
We've certainly learned a lot today about the Rockin City Roller Girls.
Yes.
For those of us who had never seen, frankly, some of us had never heard of them.
Well, if you don't know, now you know.
They made some ruckus today.
Oh, ruckus indeed, and that is Mule Kick hitting the floor in turn 4. Michigan coming around, getting caught up, if only for a moment, pushing on those toe stops on the inside line, driven back behind the jammer line. Keeps pushing against the Green Mountain tripod.
In the front stretch here, Green Mountain looking pretty tight. Defensively, doing a good job holding back Michigan. We're going to see a star pass attempt. No, there's not going to be a star pass attempt. You're not going to fool anybody. Your pivot's nowhere near you.
That is a stash, and I hate to say that it's not distracting the defense, not one bit.
Not even a little bit.
It happens. We try. Okay, a little bit of a spill as the jam comes to an end, as it's called by Michigan. We'll see how that translates into points. A 5-0 jam, courtesy of Rockin City. 207 to 58.
Curb Stomp and Fury will both take the line.
It almost sounds like one name, Curb Stomp and Fury.
Curb Stomp and Fury.
I mean, that would work too, but no, two separate entities. Oh, we have an official timeout being called. Special thanks to Glen Cove Dental. Facebook.com/Glen Cove Dental. The purpose of Glen Cove Dental Associates is to serve our patients with compassion and the best care possible. We're here to help our patients enjoy a lifetime of complete dental health and wellness. New patients are always welcome.
a change there. I don't know if it was initially Chola Rolla that came out to jam and then they swapped back, but it is Chola Rolla out there now, and lead jammer belongs to the Green Mountain Roller Derby. We've got Fox. No, I read those numbers backwards. It's 32. Curb stomp.
Yes, curb stomp.
And a quick 4 points, just like that.
Not too shabby. We're seeing things turn around ever so slightly for Green Mountain. Okay, getting back at it, number 23, that is Fury. If you're just joining us, we have Rockin City in white, Vajekyll Jackson 701 in black for Green Mountain. The Jammers have been released, fighting their way through the pack as it pushes all the way from pivot line midway between turns 1 and 2, but it is Fury emerging with lead status. Pack keeping it slow on Vajekyll Jackson. Again, that Rockin City defense.
Yeah, they've just looked so good today and really put on a clinic, and I'm just so impressed with their balance of their gameplay. The only thing I haven't seen out of Rockin City yet, and maybe they do have this, and we just haven't seen it. I've not seen any real explosive jammers that jump way out, that are super fast. And they really haven't needed to be a jammer that, jets around the track. They keep the pack so slow, and they keep such control defensively. Maybe they don't need to do that.
It's nice to see different styles.
Yeah, it's just super consistent jamming, and some really pretty impressive depth to their jammer rotation as well.
I think there'll be a lot more to come to see what they have in that jammer stable throughout the weekend.
I'm already looking forward to the next game. So, if Rockin City wins this game, assuming they're going to, I like to be as positive as possible, but I'm also try to be a realist. Rockin City would go on to play against either Bay State or Rock Coast Rollers tomorrow afternoon, 3:30 in the afternoon.
And it should be interesting if that were a matchup of Bay State with Rockin City. They're incredibly closely matched. Rockin City is currently 153 in the WFTDA rankings, where Bay State is at 156. So that
would
close.
Be fantastic. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Green Mountain currently sits at 228. That was in the most recent rankings.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll get a confirmation on some of our others as well.
I like how the WFTDA rankings go. I would have to look to see what kind of point differential Green Mountain needed to make so that they might gain a little bit even out of a loss. You can do pretty well if you can sort of beat the spread.
It's really interesting when you get into the stats calculation. I am not a huge stats nerd as far as, how many points are needed for this differential. I'm really not, I'll be honest. But the friends I have who are into that are so good at it.
Yeah.
And I could just ask them, and I love that when I was playing, because I could say, hey, can you hook me up with this?
Tell me what I need
to know. What do we need? Let's make this happen. And, making it happen indeed. Chola Rolla out there for Rockin City. And let's find out. We have a little bit of a short line out there right now, but it is curb stomp with the star.
Savage Patch Kid just took a penalty and made her way to the box. Jam's called off. Only 4 minutes, 30 seconds left in this game.
It has gone that quickly. Currently 232
Hard to
over
believe.
70 in favor of Rockin City. Okay, your jammers of current. We have number 9, Busty Breaker out there. Do I see a power start?
I think we do.
Aha.
Yeah, because now just coming out of the box is going to be Cholarola. Yeah, so Breaker is our lead jammer. Cholarola with a small distance to make up. A little too much speed coming out of the backstretch. Couldn't quite stay on the track. Did she pick up a point? She did. Cholarola picks up 1 point. 3 points are picked up by the Green Mountain Roller Derby Grade A Fancy. Rockin City sends Fury to the line now alongside Snatch McCracken.
Oh, official timeout. This is brought to you by Camden National Bank. Everyone has different financial needs, which is why we offer a variety of checking and savings accounts, along with guidance from a team of people who genuinely care about helping you reach your goals. Check them out online at www.camdennational.com.
All right. We've got our whistle. We're underway. No movement yet. Just a side-to-side dash as Snatch McCracken tries to find some room through that wall. Nothing yet. Simply no room.
And something I noticed, it just happened to be, I think, her style of trying to find an opening in that wall, but Snatch McCracken almost had a gallop going.
Yes, yeah.
Little something different. The pack into turn 2. Rockin City with the drawback on Snatch McCracken. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, heading into the back stretch, that is Fury pushing it out against the tripod of Green Mountain's Grade A Fancy. A split pack extending from the edge of turn 2 into the edge of turn 3.
There will have to be some relenting here up at the front of this pack. There's not.
Some serious clock burn going
nice
on, courtesy of Grade A Fancy.
Really a good job here on that last. We'll see if we can get that.
Yes.
I don't know if I get that on replay or not. We'll see. But great defensive work. And it's nice to be able to take an instant replay of the defense. We'll see what we get. We'll see if the instant replay grabbed what we wanted it to grab.
Green Mountain forcing that call off.
At the very end, you can see how far they had stretched out, and they were able to get the jammer nudged over that outside line just at the last, really just the last second.
Well, small successes, even in games where you may not be on the upper hand of the score. You know, you look at these successes as the game progresses, and Green Mountain has most definitely had success in the second half comparing to their first half. We've got Seroquel XR wearing the Jammer Star for Grade A Fancy up against Miss Destruction of Rockin City.
Miss Destruction nearly taking advantage of a couple of holes. Finally, one on the outside on turn 1. There was some room. She's got time to work with. Seroquel is slowly closing the gap. We'll see if she calls it off. No, doesn't. Seroquel on the inside picks up 4 points.
Keeping it sneaky on the apex of turn 3.
So Green Mountain has stolen 4 points.
Stolen 4 points, but the interesting thing is right now we have 23 minutes on the period clock. Less now, 11. So we'll see if this takes us right down to 0 or if someone calls a timeout.
There was 2 points picked up by Rockin City. So really only 2 points stolen.
Yeah, 240 to 77 at current. We'll wait for official confirmation, see what's going on here.
so.
Hearing all the excitement here
Yeah.
in the house, the unofficial final score, 240-77 in favor of Rockin City.
Yeah, and really impressive work by Rockin City, just controlling it from jam number 2 till jam number 24.
That is impressive output in their first game of the tournament. Perhaps setting
really
the
great work.
tone.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to assume that unofficial score is not going to change all that much. We will return with our next game. That will be the 4 p.m. game between the Bay State Brawlers and the Rock Coast Rollers.
And thank you for watching Coastal Chaos 2018, a WFTDA recognized tournament brought to you by the Rock Coast Rollers. See you soon.